What if I told you that Coca-Cola, the world famous soda brand, is canon in the world of fairy tale? And I know, many of you are probably thinking this is crazy, this is stupid, but hear me out because this is actually kind of funny and perhaps might even be canon. As this is probably the most detailed and unnecessarily wholesome ad collaboration for a brand that any series has possibly done to my knowledge. And I just both love it and find it ridiculous at the same time. And I feel like I should share this with all of you who don't know. Before we get into this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help and ensures you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel, and encourages me to keep pumping out these videos as often as I can for you guys to watch and enjoy. Now with that out of the way, let's get on with the video. Welcome back to another episode of Fairy Tale Fridays, where I got another fairy tale video for you guys today. And just like the opening intro gave, yes, Coca-Cola is probably canon in the world of fairy tale. Now, how did I figure this out? Well, one day I actually was on the fairy tale subreddit, as I like to see how people talk about fairy tale, maybe give me some ideas for videos, as well as just interact with the community whenever I have the opportunity to. And I stumbled upon a post that literally just says, Fairy Tale Coke Collab Side Chapter. And I'm like, is this real? I'm like, this can't be real, right? Now I know that different manga series or anime do collabs in Japan with different brands to help promote the series. Heck, Bleach had a Coca-Cola collab back when the first Square 1000 Year Blood War started, and it was just a lot of good marketing apparently from what I've seen off social media. But this is something different. Because Hiro Mashima, which I don't know the full story, but it's very possible that he was approached to do a fairy tale type promotion for Coca-Cola, and the madman decided, let me just write an entire 18-page chapter for this promotion. And I'm going to get into the actual chapter for you, because in all honesty, this does not go the way that I was expecting, and based off of the events in this chapter, you can literally just think of this as any chapter of early fairy tale from based off the characters introduced, like before, I believe, Tower of Heaven. Just based off of the art style for fairy tale at the time. So, the chapter starts off with Lucy meeting Natsu and Happy as they're just gorging themselves on a crap ton of food in Lucy's apartment, as they tend to do. The usual interactions between Natsu and Lucy in her apartment tend to go as we all expected to, with Lucy wanting to go take a bath and Natsu just hanging around, because he just wants to hang out with Lucy. But as Lucy just goes to take a shower, Natsu goes and snoops around Lucy's apartment, as he tends to do, finds a book that's different from the rest, but thanks to Happy's whiskers getting in his nose, he sneezes and gets his spits all over the book that Lucy had in her possession. Here's a dialogue I skipped earlier for some reason. Lucy mentioned that she wanted to finish writing the novel that she was writing. This is canon in the story, so way to bring in canon events. But anyway, Natsu starts to panic, and that they have to try and wipe it off properly. Happy ends up, well, ripping the page. Natsu says, what are you doing? As Natsu, in a flaming fist of rage, accidentally burns the page of Lucy's book, as the two of them are beginning to panic. Lucy overhears Natsu and Happy as they're trying to put off the fact that they think the book that they're reading is interesting. And Lucy's like, well, if you like it, you can have it as a special, but to look after it as it's a precious book, as it literally just turns to ash in Natsu's hand. As the two of them begin to look through a bunch of different bookstores to try and find a replacement, until they make it back to the Fairy Tale Guild Hall, where they meet Gray and Urza. Gray and Urza bring up that things should probably be alright if they just up and be honest with her and apologize. Natsu brings up that it was precious to her, but Gray, being one of the more reasonable people in this group, literally just says that it's more of a reason for them to actually go and apologize. That's something that they can just lie to her about. As Natsu's like, I guess that's kind of what I thought too. But Urza says that it'll be alright, as Natsu gets ready to try and tell the truth, as Lucy appears from behind them, jump scaring them, as she comes in wondering about the book that they read and she lent them. But since Lucy's kind of excited for the fact that they took one of the books off her shelf, she talks about how there is a book that she ends up bringing with them that actually pairs well with it, and that they'll appreciate even more. She hands it over to Natsu, who is just panicking and struggling to hold on the fact that he literally destroyed one of her precious books. Actually says that she can return both of them later after they get around to reading it. And Happy brings up the question, why is the book so precious to you? As Lucy just looks down and says, It's a memento for my mom, as Natsu and Happy freak out, and the reaction face of Urza and Gray is just priceless. They're like, oh god damn it, Natsu, what have you done? Lucy ends up leaving as she tells them she wants to know what they think at the end, as it's supposed to be a real tearjerker. Natsu and Happy are already crying over the knowledge that they know right now. So they begin to lament, but Natsu ends up getting up and says, you know what, it's no use holding it back, I gotta go tell her the truth and apologize, as he goes off to find Lucy. And these nice panels of like no dialogue of Natsu just going up to find Lucy, as it shows him like telling her what happened as Lucy begins to cry and just runs away from them. We cut some time later as it's stated that Lucy hasn't been in the guild for 3 days. And Urza brings up the fact that Natsu and Happy are kind of obviously depressed after what happened. So yeah, apparently they were still trying to find a book to replace it despite everything that happened, as they can't find it anywhere. Until Lucy ends up walking into the guild hall, holding something, as she goes up to Natsu and Happy, and apologizes to them, which kind of takes everyone by surprise, as Lucy reveals that she lied. Opening up the bag that she brought with her, showing a bunch of copies of the book that Natsu destroyed. As they wonder what's going on, Lucy reveals that they're all books that she self-published a long time ago. As this is a real shock to the guys. She says that she wasn't being completely truthful with them, as it was partially a memento of her mom, but it's a book that she wrote based off a story that her mother told her when she was younger. But the book didn't sell at all, so when she heard Natsu and Happy saying that they were enjoying it and they were interested, it made her very, very happy, and she wanted them to read it, and she got her hopes up, saying that being told that it was interesting got her very excited, as Natsu are still feeling very bad about everything. Despite Lucy lying to them, it's still something that she put her heart into. She even says she doesn't care about the fact that they burnt up the book. It's just whenever she heard the thought about they lied when they said that it looked interesting, she just felt sad. Natsu and Happy are trying to put all the blame on them, as what they did was inexcusable, but Lucy says that she's not angry at either of them. She was just embarrassed by the weird expectations she had, as she starts to tremble and cry. Natsu and Happy try to cheer her up, basically being like, come on, it's my fault, enough, punch me, kick me, I don't care, it'll make you feel better, right? Lucy then breaks down crying, saying that she caused a lot of trouble for the two of them, as Natsu's trying to continue being like, don't cry, please, just punch me already. Now, if you were like me and think that you've gotten this far into the chapter, you figure this is probably some sort of gag, or it was just like in the background for whatever this advertisement is. But then Gray casually places a bottle of Coca-Cola on the floor, as he goes on to say, well, the two of you are even, can't we just leave it at that? Urza says that they still got work to do and asks them if they're still going to come with them, as Greg just says, let's have a drink to lighten up the mood. Happy recognizes a drink, as Greg just says this, even if you've had a fight, even if you're separated from one another, it's a taste you'll always remember. Just like our team, right? As everybody begins to smile and cheer, as the chapter ends with them just saying to drink up, let's all head out and do our work, as it ends with them setting off on a new adventure. Literally, the very last 3 pages of the chapter is the ad for Coca-Cola. That is the funny thing. If you just gave this to somebody without the cover page and literally let them read it, you'd think this was a normal chapter of Fairy Tail, like in between arcs of just them casually going about their day with some wholesome and heartfelt moments in between. And then we get a Coca-Cola ad at the very end, which literally the line in dialogue literally presents as an ad read. The man made a full chapter that could have just been a regular chapter in the manga, and then decided, let's lead that all up into a wholesome commercial for a soda. It's crazy. And the thing is, nothing about this contradicts anything in Fairy Tail. So if you really wanted to push it, you could just make this chapter canon, and make it the fact that Coca-Cola is canon in the world of Fairy Tail. And the thing is, you could do it if you want, it doesn't contradict anything. It would just be a funny joke, if anything. And I just find this fun. I have no idea, and I want to look into this more to see if Hiro Mashima had any other, ad collabs in any of his other manga run that I have no idea about. And I also want to go see if any other mangaka have done something similar to this. But when I really think about it, making a whole damn manga chapter for an ad read, it just feels like something Hiro Mashima would do. And I kind of love it. It's cheesy, it's dumb, I love it. At the end of the day, it still feels distinctly like something you'd see from Fairy Tail. Now, if this happened after Grand Magic Games, and we got this type of ad, it'd be hilarious if the person promoting it was Kana. Heck, I'm probably going to try and make that my thumbnail if possible, as that'd just be hilarious. But anyway, that's basically been this video. Something very fun that I found on the subreddit. I love going through the subreddits of these different manga that I like and enjoy, because people find so many interesting things and talk about different ideas. So it's just nice discovering something that I can make a video on and tell it to those that probably aren't in these Reddits or have heard of it in the first place. And I kind of hope it made your day. I know this is kind of different from what I normally do on the channel and just base off fairy tale discussions in general with stuff about the story and characters, but this just felt like too much fun to not make a video on. And I hope I made you guys smile with this. It made you want to go find this for yourself, because I legitimately thought that this was a prank at first. I'm just going to be so happy just to see that Majima did something this crazy for an ad. Unless this was something he was specifically told to. No one has told me anything about that, which is an entirely different story, but still, if he just made this chapter for that one line of dialogue, the man just really knows how to have fun with what he's given. But yeah, that was this video of Fairy Tale Fridays. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other ideas for particular topics or characters you'd like me to talk about with my own perspective on things, let me know in the comment section down below. Did you find this video interesting? Is there any other things that you found about Fairy Tale that you'd like me to bring to light in a video? Let me know. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and want to see more Fairy Tale and other anime and manga content. But with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.